Hello, everyone, and welcome to Easy English Stories Home. I'm so glad you're here today. Whether you're just starting to learn English or you're looking to improve your speaking skills, you've come to the right place. In today's video, we're going to explore an important topic that can make a huge difference in how you communicate, both in English and in any language: how to speak smartly. Have you ever listened to someone speak and thought, wow, they sound so confident and clear? Or maybe you've been in a conversation and wished you could express yourself better without stumbling over your words or feeling unsure. If you've ever felt that way, don't worry. You're not alone. Speaking smartly is a skill that anyone can develop, and it's something that will benefit you in so many areas of your life, from personal conversations to professional presentations. It's not about using big, complicated words or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being clear, confident, and engaging with your words. When you speak smartly, you communicate your ideas in a way that is easy to understand and that makes others want to listen. Today, we're going to break down exactly what it means to speak smartly, and I'll share some simple, practical tips that you can start using right away to improve your speaking skills. But before we dive in, I want to ask you, how do you feel when you're speaking in English? Are you confident? Do you struggle with certain words or sentences? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. So, grab a cup of coffee or tea, and let's get started with these powerful tips that will help you speak smartly in any situation. What does speaking smartly mean? When we talk about speaking smartly, what does that really mean? Is it about using big words? Is it about sounding formal or intellectual? Actually, speaking smartly is much simpler and more practical than that. It's about communicating in a clear, confident, and engaging way, no matter who you're talking to or the situation you're in. At its core, speaking smartly means choosing your words thoughtfully, organizing your ideas clearly, and expressing yourself in a way that others can easily understand and connect with. It's not about impressing people with complex vocabulary or trying to sound perfect. Instead, it's about being authentic, respectful, and effective in your communication. You see, speaking smartly is strategic. It involves understanding your audience and speaking in a way that is appropriate for the situation. It's about using language that is simple yet powerful and making your message clear without overcomplicating it. You don't need to know a million difficult words to speak smartly. What matters more is how you use the words you already know. Now, why is speaking smartly so important? Well, in today's world, clear communication is one of the most valuable skills you can have. Whether you're at work, in school, or having a casual conversation with friends, the way you speak can influence how people perceive you. When you speak smartly, you show that you're confident, in control, and capable of expressing your thoughts effectively. This helps you build trust with others and makes it easier to connect, whether you're giving a presentation, attending a meeting, or simply talking with someone one-on-one. Smart speaking also plays a huge role in your success. Imagine you're in a job interview, trying to impress a potential employer. You can have all the knowledge and experience in the world, but if you can't express your ideas clearly and confidently, it's going to be hard for others to see your value. On the other hand, if you can speak in a way that's easy to follow and understand, you're much more likely to leave a positive impression and move ahead in your career. It's important to recognize that speaking smartly is not the same as speaking pretentiously. Some people mistakenly think that speaking smartly means using complicated words or phrases, even when they're unnecessary. They may use long, confusing sentences or try to sound overly intellectual. But speaking like this often has the opposite effect. It can come across as forced, or worse, it can make you seem like you're trying too hard to impress others. People may even feel uncomfortable or disconnected if they can't easily understand what you're saying. The goal of speaking smartly is to be clear, concise, and approachable, not to sound like a dictionary or a professor. For example, instead of using a word like ameliorate, which means to improve, you could just say improve. It's simple, effective, and it keeps the conversation flowing smoothly. The key is not in the complexity of the words you use, but in how effectively you communicate your message. So when we talk about speaking smartly, it's really about finding the balance between speaking clearly and confidently while being respectful and relatable. It's about engaging with your audience in a way that's both simple and powerful without feeling the need to impress them with complicated language. In other words, speaking smartly is about being your best self when you communicate, showing your ideas in the best possible light without overdoing it. Key elements of speaking smartly. Now that we've defined what it means to speak smartly, let's break down the key elements that will help you improve your communication skills and make sure your message is heard clearly. These elements are crucial to speaking in a way that is both effective and confident. 1. Clarity. How to communicate your message clearly. When we speak smartly, the first priority is clarity. It doesn't matter how good your ideas are if people can't understand what you're trying to say. To communicate clearly, you need to make sure your message is simple and direct. One of the most important tips for clarity is choosing simple words. Using complicated words or technical jargon may seem impressive, but it can confuse your audience, especially if they're not familiar with the terminology. Instead, try to use words that are easy to understand, but still convey your message powerfully. For example, instead of saying, "I endeavor to ensure that the project meets its objectives," you could say, "I work hard to make sure the project succeeds." Both sentences mean the same thing, but the second one is easier to follow and sounds more natural. Another key to clarity is avoiding filler words. Words like like, and may seem harmless, but they can quickly make you sound unsure or unprepared. These fillers are distractions that weaken your message. Try to pause instead of using these words. A pause gives you time to think, and it makes you sound more thoughtful and confident. 2. Confidence. The role of confidence in speaking. Confidence is essential when speaking smartly. If you don't believe in what you're saying, it's hard to expect others to believe in it too. When you speak with confidence, your audience is more likely to trust you, listen to you, and understand your message. One technique to build confidence is preparation. The more prepared you are for a conversation or presentation, the more confident you'll feel. If you know your topic well, you'll be able to speak without hesitation and respond to questions easily. Another technique is positive self-talk. Before speaking, remind yourself that you have valuable ideas to share. Even if you're nervous, Practicing positive thoughts will help calm your nerves and boost your confidence. 3. Tone and pace. How to modulate tone and speak at the right pace. Your tone and pace are also key elements of speaking smartly. The way you say something is just as important as what you say. First, let's talk about tone. Your tone should match the message you want to convey. For example, if you're talking about something serious, a calm and steady tone will help get your point across. If you're excited about something, your tone should reflect that enthusiasm. A good tone shows that you're emotionally engaged with your message and that you care about how it's received. Next is pace. Speaking too fast can make you sound rushed or nervous, while speaking too slowly can bore your audience or make you seem unsure. The key is to find a pace that's comfortable for you and your audience. A good rule of thumb is to speak at a moderate pace, clear enough for people to follow, but not so slow that it loses their attention. Pausing occasionally to gather your thoughts can also help your audience absorb your message. 4. Body language. How gestures, posture, and eye contact contribute to smart speaking. Your body language plays a huge role in how your message is received. Gestures can help emphasize your points and make you seem more engaged. For example, using your hands to illustrate an idea can make your words more powerful. Posture is just as important. Standing or sitting up straight conveys confidence and openness. It shows that you're focused and ready to engage with others. On the other hand, slouching or crossing your arms can make you appear disengaged or defensive. Finally, eye contact is essential. When you make eye contact with your audience or the person you're speaking to, it shows that you're confident and trustworthy. Avoiding eye contact can make you seem unsure or uninterested. However, be careful not to stare. Brief, natural eye contact is the best way to connect with your audience. 5. Active listening. Why listening is just as important as speaking. One of the most important but often overlooked aspects of speaking smartly is active listening. It's not just about what you say, but also how you listen to others. When you listen actively, you show respect for the speaker and demonstrate that you care about their thoughts and ideas. This means not just hearing the words, but also understanding the message behind them. It's important to give your full attention to the person speaking, avoid interrupting, and ask thoughtful questions when appropriate. Active listening also involves responding thoughtfully. When it's your turn to speak, make sure your response is relevant to what the other person has said. This shows that you're not just waiting for your turn to talk, but that you're engaged in the conversation and value the input of others. These key elements, clarity, confidence, tone and pace, body language, and active listening, are all essential for speaking smartly. By practicing these skills, you'll be able to communicate your ideas more effectively and make a lasting impression in any conversation. Practical tips for speaking smartly. Now that we've covered the key elements of speaking smartly, let's talk about some practical tips you can use right away to improve your communication. These tips will help you prepare, stay focused, engage your audience, and sound more confident, all while making your conversations and presentations more effective. 1. Preparation. Why preparation? Matters and how to prepare for conversations or presentations. One of the most important tips for speaking smartly is preparation. If you want to sound confident and clear, you need to know what you're talking about. Whether you're preparing for a formal presentation or a casual conversation, taking time to prepare will help you feel more in control and reduce anxiety. Preparation doesn't mean memorizing every word you're going to say. Instead, it's about organizing your thoughts and having a clear idea of your main points. Before you speak, take a few minutes to think about what's the purpose of the conversation or presentation? What are the key points I want to communicate? What examples or stories can I share to make my message clearer? For a presentation, it's helpful to outline your main points and rehearse them. If you're having a conversation, it's useful to think about the key topics you want to discuss. Being prepared also helps you stay focused, so you don't go off track. 2. Expanding your vocabulary. How to use the right words without sounding unnatural. To speak smartly, it's important to expand your vocabulary, but that doesn't mean using complex or fancy words. The key is to know which words are the most appropriate for the situation and your audience. For example, using simple, precise words can often be more effective than using big words that may not be understood. If you're talking to someone who isn't familiar with technical terms, avoid using jargon. Instead, choose words that are easy to understand but still convey your point clearly. It's also important to practice using new words naturally. For instance, if you want to use a more advanced word in conversation, try practicing it in different contexts. This way, when the moment comes, the word will feel natural rather than forced. The goal is to sound confident and comfortable, not like you're trying too hard to impress others. 3. Staying focused. How to stay on topic and avoid rambling. One common mistake many people make when speaking is rambling. We've all been there, saying too much or going off on tangents, which can confuse or lose the interest of our audience. To avoid this, it's important to stay focused on the main point of your conversation or presentation. Before you start speaking, make sure you have a clear idea of the topic at hand. If you're giving a presentation, stick to your outline and avoid going off topic. If you're having a conversation, keep the discussion centered around the subject at hand. A helpful tip is to ask yourself questions while speaking, like, does this relate to the main topic? Or am I adding something important to the conversation? If you find yourself drifting off course, steer the conversation back by summarizing your key points. 4. Engaging your audience. How to keep people interested in what you're saying. Speaking smartly isn't just about getting your message across. It's also about engaging your audience. Whether you're speaking in a meeting or having a casual conversation, keeping your audience interested is key. One way to engage your audience is by using stories or examples. People connect better with stories than with abstract ideas or facts alone. When you share personal experiences or real-life examples, it makes your message more relatable and memorable. Another way to engage your audience is by asking questions. Questions invite participation and show that you're interested in what others think. This helps keep the conversation dynamic and makes people feel involved. You can also engage your audience with enthusiasm. If you sound excited and passionate about what you're saying, your audience is more likely to be engaged and interested as well. 5. Using pauses. Effectively. Why pauses can make you sound more deliberate and confident. One of the most powerful techniques for speaking smartly is using pauses. It may seem like a small thing, but the way you use pauses can have a huge impact on how you're perceived. Pauses give you time to think and collect your thoughts, and they also make you sound more confident. Instead of rushing to fill the silence with or like, take a moment to pause and allow your words to sink in. Pauses can also make your points stand out more. When you pause after saying something important, it gives your audience time to absorb the information. It's important to find the right balance. Pausing for too long can make you seem unsure, but pausing for a brief moment allows you to gather your thoughts and emphasize important points. Try to use pauses intentionally, after a key idea or before transitioning to a new topic. By incorporating these practical tips, preparation, expanding your vocabulary, staying focused, engaging your audience, and using pauses effectively, you'll start speaking smarter in no time. These techniques not only help you communicate your message more clearly, but they also make you sound more confident and engaging. Common mistakes to avoid. As you work on speaking smartly, it's just as important to be aware of common mistakes that can undermine your efforts. Here are a few key mistakes to avoid if you want to sound confident, clear, and engaging. 1. Speaking too fast or too slow. One of the most common mistakes people make when speaking is talking either too fast or too slow. Speaking too fast can make it difficult for others to follow what you're saying, and it can make you seem rushed or nervous. On the other hand, speaking too slowly can cause your audience to lose interest or think that you're unsure of yourself. The key is balance. Aim for a pace that's comfortable and easy for your audience to follow. If you tend to speak too quickly when you're nervous, consciously slow down. If you speak too slowly, try to increase your pace a bit to keep things flowing naturally. A good way to find the right pace is to practice reading aloud and paying attention to how your speech sounds. Try to keep your speaking rate steady, neither too rushed nor too drawn out. 2. Overcomplicating your message. Another common mistake is overcomplicating your message. Sometimes, in an attempt to sound smart or knowledgeable, people use complicated words or long sentences. While it's great to have a wide vocabulary, using overly complex words or convoluted explanations can confuse your audience. When you speak, simplicity is key. The goal of communication is to make your message clear and easily understood. Instead of trying to sound sophisticated by using difficult language, focus on explaining your ideas in the most straightforward way. Use simple words, short sentences, and clear examples. This makes your message more accessible and ensures that people understand exactly what you're trying to say. 3. Interrupting others or not giving them a chance to speak. Interrupting others or not giving them a chance to speak can make you come across as rude, impatient, or disrespectful. Smart speaking isn't just about talking, it's also about listening. When you're speaking with someone, it's important to give them the space to share their thoughts and feelings. To avoid interrupting, practice being patient and attentive. Wait for the other person to finish speaking before responding. This shows that you value their input and are engaged in the conversation. In group discussions, be mindful of others' turns to speak and don't dominate the conversation. Remember, communication is a two-way process, and smart speakers are also good listeners. 4. Using too many fillers or sounding unsure. Another mistake that can make you sound less confident is using too many filler words like, like, or, you know. These words may seem harmless, but they can make you sound unsure of yourself or unprepared. While it's normal to use fillers occasionally, too many can distract from your message and make you seem less credible. To avoid using fillers, practice pausing when you need a moment to think. Pauses give you time to gather your thoughts and make your speech more deliberate. If you find yourself using fillers out of habit, try to become more aware of them during conversations or presentations. Over time, you'll learn to replace fillers with thoughtful pauses, which will make you sound more confident and composed. Conclusion. To wrap things up, let's quickly summarize the key points we've covered in today's video about speaking smartly. 1. Clarity is essential. Use simple words and avoid fillers to communicate your message clearly. 2. Confidence plays a huge role in how your message is received. Practice speaking with confidence and poise. 3. Tone and pace. Moderate your tone and avoid speaking too fast or too slow to keep your audience engaged. 4. Body language and active listening also contribute to smart speaking, so don't forget to use gestures, maintain good posture, and listen carefully to others. 5. We also discussed some practical tips like preparing for conversations, expanding your vocabulary, staying focused, and using pauses effectively. Sixthly, we highlighted some common mistakes to avoid, including speaking too fast, overcomplicating your message, interrupting others, and using too many fillers. Remember, speaking smartly is all about being clear, confident, and engaging in your conversations. With practice, you'll be able to apply these techniques in your daily life, whether you're giving a presentation, having a conversation, or simply sharing your thoughts with others. So, I encourage you to practice these tips in your own life. The more you practice, the more natural and confident you'll become at speaking smartly. If you found today's video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to comment below with any questions or thoughts you have about speaking smartly. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English skills with more tips and lessons from Easy English Stories Home. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay smart, stay confident, and keep practicing.